What's up, everybody? T-Back here in the kitchen with Nutrition Weekly Edition 5. This week I decided to build upon last week's video, so if you haven't watched last week's video, you should definitely go check that out. But it was all about spices and how to use spices to give some more flavor to the foods that you're eating without having to sacrifice putting in a whole bunch of additives and extra sugars, extra fats, and things like that into your diet. So today we are going to try to put my money where my mouth is, bring you over here and show you what we got. So we've got a bunch of ingredients on this side. We've got one bottle on this side. So I talked about this last week. This is a sauce that I've used, for most of my life, putting it on tacos, fajitas, things like that. But I did show you the back last week, and as you can see over here, we got a laundry list of ingredients, lots of things that we don't need, some added sugars, the added salt, all that stuff that is obviously going to be not desired in a healthy diet. So we're going to do our best to use these things to replicate that sauce. So over here I have apple cider vinegar, some honey, tomato paste. The recipe that I'm using does call for tomato sauce, but I like the tomato paste a little better because it makes things thicker. So I decided to go with this. We're going to see how it goes. I have never made this before in my life, so I have no clue how this is going to go. And then over here we have paprika, we have some chili powder, some cumin, some garlic, and some onion powder. So we're going to make this right here, right now. Got my mixing bowl, and I'm just going to walk you through the different stuff that we're going to need. So we are going to start with the chili powder. We're going to be throwing in a half a teaspoon of this. In case you're new to baking or cooking or making stuff, all dry ingredients first. So we're going to keep the wet stuff for afterwards. After that, we're going to a teaspoon and a half of our cumin. There's the teaspoon. There's the half. And don't worry, I'm going to have all the directions down below for you as well. I know the ingredients are already up, but just so you have that as well. Moving on to our garlic powder, teaspoon of that. All right, and our paprika, got a half a teaspoon of that. Solid. And onion powder. 1 teaspoon of this. All right. So there's our spices all said and done. Now we're going to crack these suckers open. Forgot to bring my spoon over. So we're going to get the tomato paste out here. Use a spatula to get some of that off. Here we go. So like I said, I have never attempted this before, but after making last week's video, I felt like it was important for me to show you kind of what I'm talking about, what I'm doing, and I don't want to preach this stuff without doing it myself. So figured why not take you guys on an adventure with me, and we'll see how this all turns out. Could be absolutely terrible, could be absolutely amazing. I really have no idea, but that's the fun part about having some extra time on your hands. So while you're sitting around the house anyway, why not take advantage of it? Try something new that you've never done. So I am going to have this in the description down below as well, but just as I did for our nutrition first edition, we made oatmeal. So I priced this out. This is telling me that it's going to make the exact same amount as what we have in that bottle of Ortega over there. The bottle of Ortega cost $2.69 at the grocery store. I did double check that online to make sure that I had the correct price for you guys. All of the ingredients that I'm using, obviously people are going to say that costs a heck of a lot more. So yes, the ingredients themselves to get all of the things that I have here cost $21, pretty much on the dot. So yes, those things cost $21 to get all these things. However, the amount that we're using, if you want to actually price this out correctly, we got 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar coming up. So the amount that we're using prices out to $1.70. So if this in fact tastes good and produces the amount that it says it's going to produce, you are looking at saving, not actually spending more. So we got our honey here. We got 1 teaspoon of honey, and then we got to throw some water in here as well. So you are actually going to be saving yourself about roughly 40 cents. Not 40, sorry, 70 cents. This is why I don't teach math. Saving yourself 70 cents to make the homemade version of this, which is healthier than just buying that from the grocery store. All right, need a 1/3 cup of water in here. It does say if you need more water to add a tablespoon at a time until it reaches the consistency that you want. So we're going to add that water in. And got to take our whisk, break the stuff up. Woo! Spilled a little bit there, my fault. I gotta be honest with you, it's smelling pretty good. I am definitely gonna need a little more water in here, I think. And that, obviously the other joy about doing something like this is you get to make it with the amount of spice you want. So if you make this and you follow these exact instructions and you're like, oh man, like that's way too spicy for me. All right, then cut it down a little bit. If you're like, I want some more spice in it, you know, I need some more flavor, then you can add a little bit more here and there and start to play with it yourself. All right, add a little more water in. Let's keep mixing this. Hopefully you're finding this interesting. I certainly am. And I'm very curious to see how this comes out. And yes, I'm going to taste it right here on the channel for you. See how it goes. Definitely need some more water. So it looks like, because I used the tomato paste instead of tomato sauce, which I did on purpose because I did want to make sure that I had a good thick consistency. This is, as you can see, this is kind of liquidy. I would rather have it a little thicker than that for my personal taste, for what I want out of this sauce for myself. And you can just throw this in a mason jar or something, throw this in the fridge. It does freeze as well, so if you wanted to throw it in the freezer, you could throw it in the freezer as well. But I hope you can see, like right here, it's looking really good. Like really, really good. And yes, if you want to use, obviously, a blender or a mixer or hand mixer or something like that, you certainly can. Personally, I like using my hands for stuff like this. All right, we're going to add just a tiny bit more water just to get it nice and smooth. And I think that'll do it. Let's see. Mix it up one more time. There we go. Now it's getting smooth. Thick but smooth. Okay. Just gotta rinse my hand off real quick since it spilled on itself. Alright, so as you can see, I have no idea. I didn't actually time this. I don't know how long it took, but we did it. So let's see what we got here. So here's our finished product. I definitely think it made as much, if not a tiny bit more, than the other sauce. We dive in here. Yeah. Wow. That is really solid. that actually tastes really close. So, I mean, you heard it here first. This stuff, more pricey, less healthy. This stuff, I will say it's a little bit watered down because I had to add a little more water with the paste. So if you go with the tomato sauce, I think that would actually be a better call. I was just trying something for myself, and I figured, what the heck? So now I get to take this, throw it in a mason jar, throw it in the fridge, and now I'm going to be using that for my fajitas. And who knows, maybe we'll have that next week. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope you can, make some stuff like this for yourself, try some new things, use those spices that we talked about last video, get yourself a little bit more flavor in your life, but staying healthy at the same time. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, guys, stay healthy.